So today I'm using this Tamale Kit to see if we can make the tamales and how they're gonna come out. I'm also using chicken stock, and I want to call this consommé because that's what I would call it back in the States, but I'm here in Germany, so it's a little different. And of course, they don't have really a lot of like tomatillo here, so this is salsa verde. So let's see what's up. Alright, so right now what I'm doing is I'm making like the chicken broth and everything. Right, it's a chicken stock that I put in there along with a couple cups of water. If I'm not mistaken, I put 3. And I'm letting it boil. What I did just now, I just poured the salsa into a bowl. Literally. And then I'm getting ready to add chicken to it. Shredded chicken. So I have removed all the chicken from the stock, and this is what's left, the juice. So what I did is I strained the chicken broth or the chicken stock here to make sure that there's like no residue left over it, and that's what my chicken stock looks like. So right here you'll see that I have the shredded chicken, and I'm gonna get ready to add that into my green salsa.
So now I've added the chile verde and the chicken. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and...
So once I've had it all mixed up and everything, what I do is I usually transfer it from here to a bowl or a plate like this one, and I put it in the microwave from 30 seconds to 1 minute. So here what I already did is I pre-measured my chicken stock to 2 cups right here. And the flour, this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the masa, the stock, to the masa. Once I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and slowly start battering this up. But you can see the consistency. It's not like cookie dough, but it's definitely pasty. Yes, my little balls of masa. And when I do that, I'm gonna have a separate bowl for which to put them in. I usually try to make them a medium size, not too small, not too big. So something about like along this side. So as you can see, I was able to make 12 bolitas de masa, or 12 masa balls for the tamales. So in the meantime, while we were doing this, I did forget to mention that I do put my leaves to soak. So I'm going to show you guys that and how it works.
When I let my leaves soak in water, I don't like the water to be really, really hot, but I don't like it to be cold either. So I usually put it at a good, medium temperature between boiling and warm. So I'm going to go ahead and open this.
Once I do that, it smells a little weird because I guess they've been moist for a minute and then they were put into the packaging, so they might smell like they're expired, but they're not. So I started letting one by one go in. Now say if it was like the crunchy leaves already that were dry, I do the same thing, except I don't separate them. I just dip them in all together at the same time. Because if you try to separate them when they're dry, they'll start breaking and start flaking, and I don't like that. So let's see. Okay, so what I'm gonna show you is how I cheat when it comes to making my tamales.
So I grab press and seal, and I have a plate of water here that I use. And what I do is I put the water on this side, but I also put it on the other side, so that way when I put the dough or the masa, it doesn't stick to the plastic. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a leaf of elote. And again, I just kind of put it on both sides. You don't have to. This is an extra step for you guys. Then don't do it. But for me, it works. If you recall, I already had my pre-made masa balls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tap it in with a little bit of water from the bowl. And just tap it. Once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and lightly squeeze it. And it's going to form a circle. Obviously, with that tortilla. I'm going to move it around. I was going to speak in my Spanish accent. I gonna. Then rotating it around. I'm going to start giving it a shape as a rectangle, believe it or not.
They're rectangular actually. So as soon as I start doing that, I placed it in the middle. I don't know if you noticed. I placed it in the middle of the leaf. I didn't want to really press it so much where it was either too far down or too far up. So I placed it as much in the middle as possible. Now that I have this section set up, I squeeze it a little bit more into the shape that I want it. And you don't want to squeeze so hard, because if you notice, once you squeeze very hard, that's why I'm telling you, like, be mindful of it. It'll start sticking to the plastic side where the press and seal is at, right? You don't want it to be too thin that you can feel the leaf on the other side. You want it to have enough dough. And once you do that, that's how it comes out. Then it's easy for you to fold. You can still extend it a little bit more should you choose to. Make it more like into an oval or into a rectangle, whatever shape you feel more comfortable with. As long as it's not so much on the bottom, you should be good. Now, how do I cheat the system by doing that? Because it gives me a more flat-ended and more even out mass of dough. Whereas if I was to put it in and then spread it, which we usually do, it would be a little bit more complicated. And sometimes, like, certain areas of the tamal come out with more dough than others. So I usually try to keep it consistent. So once I do that, then I put it on a side where I already have other tamal leaves put in, like this one. And what I do then is I put it on top of the other one and move on to the next one. So I've already completed a couple, so I'll see you in a little bit. So, a quick easy fix. So suppose you don't have like a actual like tortilla maker like I do, right? Because obviously you're like, hey, I'm in another country, or you're in the same situation as I am, which is a very small apartment, and you don't have the luxury of having all the crazy stuff that you have or that you need to make Mexican food, right? Because Mexicans are known for having huge pots for cooking. So what you do is you grab a regular cutting board, and what I do is this is the same process. I put the water on it, right, with my leaf, and then I grab a pan, right, and the pan, I have already fixed this one. It's a flat pan, it's a Kraft pan, and what I do is I put the seal press or a plastic bag over it, or you can even grab like a Ziploc bag, like a big Ziploc bag, and push it all the way through. And I put the water on both sides of the thing, of the pot and the cutting board. I just put the water there, and you get the same effect or the same thing. So tap it, put a little bit of water, and again you squeeze. Very minimal. Squeeze. Very minimal. And you can rotate it around. The flexibility with this one is that you can move the pot around to where you want it to smooth out or remove as much weight from the dough. Once you do that, you're going to continue tapping it into the desired shape of that you want it to have. In my case, like a rectangle. And I usually like to push it up. And the same thing works if you're trying to make tortillas at home, because I know I love making tortillas every now and then from scratch, just because, Jesus, I miss my mom's food. But once you do that, it gives you that flexibility. So that's another alternative if you want to use it. And now I'm gonna like literally in the last part of my tamal making, and what I do is I grabbed a vegetable steamer. I'm sure you can purchase these anywhere. There's different ways to make them too. So the vegetable steamer, I'm gonna spread it open, and I'm gonna grab my pot, right? So this is my pot right here. You guys can really see it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the lid from it, and I'm gonna put this in there. So I'm putting the steamer, the vegetable steamer, in the pot. Again, it looks like this, but once you spread it open, put it in there. And I'm gonna start putting the tamales in here as I'm adding the chicken with the Verde salsa. So here's my shredded chicken with the green salsa that I put in the microwave for 1 minute. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add it onto the the actual corn leave with the tamal, so bear with me. So here's the first one. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put it right here. So I don't put a lot, but I don't put too little. I like to have enough carne in my tamales. And then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it. Sometimes I don't have any little rib. You're gonna wrap it like if you were doing a tamal. I mean a burrito or a taco. Gosh, I miss it so much. And this is what it should look like. Once you do that, you're gonna go ahead and put it in your pot. And you're gonna make them stand up. Right now, if you have them laying down, that's fine. But no, you're gonna want them to stand up. So here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add 6 with cheese. Because I already did 6 without cheese. Some of my friends don't like cheese. I know, right? How weird. No, I'm just kidding. But so this is what I do. I spread it a little bit. And I add the cheese. Which is crazy because, believe it or not, this is warm right now. And it smells so good when you put the cheese on top of it. It makes you so hungry. I want to eat it right now. And I spread it. And then I fold it on the other side. And then I wrap it in. And I put it in my little bag. So that's what I'm doing, adding a little bit of cheese to my tamales. We have these little great pots that are electric, and what they do is you turn them on and it's going to boil the water. So they do boil that for you, and it does it pretty quick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer that boiled water into the pot. So this is what my tamales look like right now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use the same pot that I told you that I put the water in, and I'm gonna add the hot water very gently to make sure that it doesn't hit any of my tamales. And I'm gonna go ahead and pour it. Now normally if I had like a bunch of tamales, then I would have the vegetable steamer like spread out completely. But I really don't, and I don't want the water to rise all the way to the top. If you can see, it's not touching the tamales. It's just enough to be there. And what I do is I grab a towel and I put it on top of it, so that way like the tamales don't get the water from the lid of the pot. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So once I put the towel, then I go ahead and I put the lid on. Remember the boiling water is already in there, so I put the lid on. Sometimes what I like to do is I like to have the lid a little bit off, but at the beginning what I'll do is I'll just keep it on. And right now I set it for 30 minutes or so. So we'll keep you updated. So the tamales have been basically made with all of the ingredients and have been finally cooked. So I'm gonna try one out right now. I'm gonna try this one. This one I don't think is any of the one that has any cheese, but we're gonna find out right now. I should have separated them, but it's okay. Yeah, this one's the one without cheese. So this is what it looks like. And as I'm getting ready to roll it out, obviously there's no right or wrong way for you to peel it, really. But I usually like to peel it as such. Actually, this one is the one with cheese. All right. So as you can see, this is what it looks like. It smells really good, so I hope it tastes just as well, considering it's one of those like Tamale Kits. So let's try it out. Okay, that's not bad. It could definitely be better taste-wise, but for what it's worth, living in Germany, this tastes amazing.